A climate change scientist wins wins a $50,000 liable lawsuit against a conservative newspaper. Yes, indeed, it is true. Prominent Canadian climatologist wins a liable lawsuit against a National Post on Friday after a judge decided the newspaper had published several articles that were both inaccurate and defamatory to his character. Basically, they said he's an idiot, he's untrustworthy, unscientific, incompetent, and he just doesn't know what he's talking about. But too bad this climatologist is right. The Earth is warming. God bless it. Now, here's the thing. I was on Kennedy's show earlier this week, you know, Kennedy Montgomery on Fox. We had this conversation about global warming. And we were talking about whether or not global warming was more of a harm than terrorism. And I said to her, I'm like, you know, I got to tell you, Kennedy, we know that global warming is caused because of greenhouse gas emissions. And the reason why, don't get me wrong, history tells us that, you know, the Middle East has been a powder keg for a really long time. But think about it in modern times. The reason why they even carved up the Middle East, whether it was colonialism, was because of oil. When oil became a big deal, people realized that the Middle East was basically sitting on billions of oil, billions of gallons of oil, billions of gallons. And so now it's become this powder keg. And yes, ISIS is not necessarily, you know, pumping oil. The reason why there isn't ISIS is because of oil. So if we could decrease our dependency on foreign oil, which would ultimately lead to a decrease, will slow the rate of warming, we could also obliterate ISIS. It's not going to happen overnight. But hell, us sending our troops over there isn't going to obliterate them overnight. We allegedly defeated Al-Qaeda. We killed bin Laden. But they're still out there committing terrorist attacks. So let's take the money away. Listen, the thing is, that's the thing, America. Sometimes in life, if you keep going after the output and not after the supplier, you create a big problem. It's like drug dealing. When you go after the drug addict, that doesn't do you any good because the supplier is still there. You've got to take out the supplier. Take out the supplier. So if we stop using oil and we mute that, we mute the supplier, and we mute the money coming in, I guarantee this, ISIS won't exist anymore.